Judge, I was just retained on this case yesterday, so we set it for a motion to set bond this morning.
Okay, and what's happening with the MTR though?
I just received it this morning, Judge. I just was retained yesterday, so I set it for a motion to set bond because of the client's in custody without a bond.
Okay.
Take to court.
But anyways, no, it's my case, she's right. He does work on what's going on.
All right. Court is calling 2023 CR 2432 State versus Miguel Maldonado. Can I have parties announced?
Megan Galloway from Steve.
David Andre Woodard from Mr. Maldonado.
And are you Mr. Maldonado?
None.
All right, defense has filed a motion requesting a bond. Defense, do you have any evidence to present to the court?
No, Your Honor.
All right, state, any evidence?
No, Judge, we just asked him to judicial notice that the motion to remove that's filed and the warrant all issues.
All right, it appears that you all are requesting a bond of $60,000 or agreed to a bond of $60,000.
We're not, Judge. That's the state's request.
All right, so does anyone want to put any evidence on about flight risk, whether or not, you know, what bond he can make?
Yes.
Thank you.
So, well,
Okay.
Basically, Judge, the case is a state jail felony that he's on probation for. And I believe he absconded maybe in February of 2024. Since then, he has reoffended on one misdemeanor charge, failure to ID. He has not reoffended on any other felony charges. I believe his original bond was $3,000, then it was raised for some reason to $6,000. We're asking the court to possibly set a bond at $7,500 in line with the charge that he's on probation for. And we would have no objection, Judge, to a because of the non-reporting ELM, if the court would waive the fees.
All right, state.
the government offers the everyone.
I don't want to misspeak, Judge, but I believe this is his first motion to revoke since he's been on this probation.
Yeah, I think it is as well.
Judge, since the offer states exhibit M1 for purposes of this year.
Any objection?
Okay. This for inspection.
Judge, I have no objections to states M1 tendered to the court.
All right, state's exhibit M1 will be admitted without objection. Any other evidence, state?
Just what is in file and that's that, and then ours absconded from the jurisdiction of this court since 2024. And that's the reason that you're requesting the chief guest will house arrest. That will go on to
Yes. Thank you.
Sorry, just one moment. All right, counsel, do you want to put on any evidence on the bond amount that he is able to make?
I would, Judge.
All right. Do you want to call him as a witness?
I will.
All right, can you raise your right hand? Do you solemnly swear affirm the testimony you give will be the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you can lower your hand, state your name for the record.
Miguel Maldonado,
All right, defense, you may proceed.
Miguel, how old are you?
that's 27.
Are you currently employed?
I was working part-time,
What kind of work are you
doing
doing?
roofing.
When I ask you a question, you gotta wait until I finish asking it, and then you answer it, because the court report is taken down what both of us say, okay? That way we don't talk over each other, all right? How much money were you making per week?
Probably anywhere from 600 to 700.
And we're asking the court to set a bond for you. I've requested that the court set a bond at $7,500. Do you think that's a bond amount you could make?
Most of them,
What bond amount could you make?
I don't want to lie, I believe I know, because I got to talk to my partner, my wife, because she's the one with the.
Okay, I'm so sorry. You're gonna have to, one, slow down. You're gonna have to speak up so the court reporter can hear and so that I can hear.
Okay, I'm sorry, ma'am.
That's okay.
I was gonna say, I don't know how much money we have left because my wife had gave the last 500 I have, so I gotta talk to her, consult with her to see how much she has, and then I'll be able to.
Well, we're here right now, so the judge needs to try to get an amount on what you can possibly make. That's the question to you.
They can't keep it at the 6,000.
Question to you is, what amount could your family make? Just answer that question.
I like a $500 bill.
We'll pass the witness, Judge.
I'm sorry, ma'am.
Oh,
That's
no
okay.
problem.
Just so I understand correctly, you said you need to consult with your wife to see the bond amount that you can make.
Yes.
Okay, so you personally have not reached out to any bond companies?
No, ma'am.
Okay, and at this point, you're unsure if your wife or any family members have done that, is that
Yeah,
correct?
from my understanding, that was remanded without bond.
Okay. We pass the witness now.
All right, any?
No
further
redirect,
questions?
Judge.
All right, I just have a few questions and it's related to conditions to be set for bond. Have you ever been diagnosed in the past with any type of mental health issues?
Yes, ma'am. I got bipolar, PTSD, anxiety, and insomnia,
Okay.
and ADHD, my bad.
All right. In the past, have you ever used any type of drugs? And I'm not talking about while you've been on probation. I don't want to get into any facts of this, just in the past.
No, ma'am, just marijuana.
All right. The court has reviewed State's Exhibit M1. Any final argument before the court makes a decision?
We're just asking the court to set a reasonable bond, Judge.
All right. This is what the court will do. The court is going to set a bond. There's to be no contact with Christopher Martinez, Beto Hernandez, Eric Aric Arias, Amanda Inocencio, Inossencio, Daniel Ramos. There's to be partial GPS for medical treatment only. waive GPS until further notice. And the court is going to set your bond at $30,000. And this is going to be set for a contested MTR in 10 days. Could I have 10-day reset for a contested MTR, please? I'm sorry, when? All right, is that good for you, counsel?
It is, Judge.
All right, so, and if you'll give the defendant a reset form, please? And say that, is that enough time for you?
Yes, sir.
All right, thank you. All right, you may be excused.